working on your automation through programming project, and in this video we're going to talk about your job as a mechanical engineer. Typically throughout this project, as the mechanical engineer, it's your job to both design and build the model that will fulfill the task for your group. So with Road Trip, we know that you need to build a Fischer Technic model with one motor and one lamp. In this video, we're going to talk about how you'll do that and then how you'll show evidence that you did that in your engineering notebook. So let's get started. As you know from this scenario, we have two outputs for Road Trip, task number one. You need a motor and you need some kind of lamp. Let's see if we can pull that down there. So you'll definitely need those two things so that you can wire your robot into the computer so that the computer program can tell it what to do. So you need these two. In addition to needing the motor and the lamp, you'll also need something called a gearbox, the axle with the gear attached to it, and of course some tires. This motor is what is actually going to be attached with wires to the interface box. So this will spin, this beautiful silver thing right here, and you need that to spin other stuff to get your tires to work as well. So that's why you need a gearbox like this. And the gearbox on the end has these little slidey holes right there, and that actually slides right into this lovely gear, and you have to push it all the way on like that because that silver part, right, will engage with this gear on the top, and when that gear spins, that'll turn this gear, which will in turn turn this gear. And then, what a lovely gear train you've got there. And then you're going to take this axle with the gear attached to it and you're going to put it through this lovely little hole right here, because then this gear will touch that gear and that will spin the entire axle, and that's where you're going to attach your tires. So now it's time to design your car, and you've got to include the required items to actually make something work. You need your lamp, you need your motor contraption with the gearbox and the axle, special axle right there. But everything else is kind of up to you. You can use the lovely blocks in the kit, you need some hubs, right? You can use whatever you'd like to use to make your car, and as many tires as you want. I mean, you're going to have to share them, but so work within reason. But there's a couple ways that you need to sketch this in your engineering notebook. You can use something called an isometric sketch or an orthographic sketch. Let me tell you a little bit about how they're different and which one you want to use when. Orthographic sketching is a way to show different viewpoints of the object that you're drawing. For example, take a look at the motorcycle. You can see a side view, a front view, and a top view. With the car, you can see a top view. Oh, that's a lie. You can see a front view, a back view, and a side view. And for the stove in the lower right-hand corner, you can see a side, a front, and a top view. Here's an orthographic sketch of my design for the car for a road trip. There's one thing that I forgot to put on there. I forgot to label what type of view this is. So really I should label that this is the top view and this is a side view. So make sure you label on your piece of paper, if you do an orthographic sketch, what view we're looking at. With isometric sketching, you only have to sketch the object once, but this way it's at a 45-degree angle and it shows depth, so it's a three-dimensional sketch. Orthographic sketching is not three-dimensional. Isometric is. And here's an example of what my design would look like if I'd made an isometric sketch. Notice we've got about a 45-degree angle on the sketch piece of paper. I've got lots of labels, and you can see the entire car pretty much, just the depth rather than each side. Fiona, I just thought of something. They might not have labeled their drawings. Aren't you? She's so appalled she's leaving. You need to make sure that you label the parts of your sketch so that we know what they are. You know, which one's the gearbox, which one's the motor, which one's the lamp. Make sure that you label those things. Whether you're an amazing artist or not, you need to have those labels. Oh good, you're back. They're labeling. It's okay. Oh. Ugh. Okay, here we go. I'm ready to put my entire model together. I've got a design, it's labeled, I've got all my pieces set out. I'm going to put it together. I've already got my gearbox and motor put together, so I'm kind of ahead. Here we go. All right, here is my final product. As you can see, I've got my motor, I've got my gearbox, I've got my lamp, and I've got my 4 wheels, so that's pretty much it. Now, I put my car on a lovely little column because then I can put this into one of those flat black bases and test my car so that when it's moving, it's not actually moving and I'm not dealing with any wires going all over the place, but this is a great way to test. And then you could actually take that off and put it on the ground when you're ready to run it with your program. But I think it's a great idea, at least to start with, just to try that out so it's not wiggling all over the place on you. But pretty cool, huh?